Guys. I got to give you some hopium, okay? I got to absolutely give you guys a little bit of hopium. So shout out to my boy Swish Hill for sending this over to me because I was not aware of this whatsoever. So if you guys want to feel good about Mitch Johnson, I got something for you. Okay, I'll read the super chat after this. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. But like, Mitch Johnson has gotten a lot of hate over the season from all of you. Okay, I never criticized him, not me. I never once said that Mitch Johnson rotations were absolutely horrible. That was something I never said 50 million times. But I will say this: the more that I've thought about it, the more that I think about this situation, the more that I am sold on bringing in Mitch Johnson, right? I've said on many different occasions that, hey, he is from the Pops tree. Popovich isn't going to have you as an assistant coach and you don't know what you're doing, right? I've said that he's a young coach, and that's something that a lot of fans wanted. And him being a young coach, sometimes you can get a little weird with the rotations. Funny enough, though, it's not like Popovich wasn't somebody that also was getting a lot of hate for some of his rotations, right? Some people have brought up, oh, well, we need a win now coach, which I'll be honest with you, Popovich is the definition of a win now coach. And the Spurs have been mediocre and pretty bad over the course of the last few seasons. And that is not his fault. All I'm trying to say is talent matters at the end of the day. Coaching matters also, obviously, right? You're not going to have a dynasty with a bad coach. But the players is what's most important. That's the top of the list when it comes to being able to compete. And Popovich couldn't do that, even though if he were to, when he was healthy, if he were to leave the San Antonio Spurs, he gets a job easily. Anybody would have fired their coach for Pop easily. Maybe a few coaches are set in stone, right? Spoelstra is set in stone, but most of the league would just be like, oh, Popovich, that's a win now coach, right? So we've had that win now coach, and we weren't winning. Right. So it doesn't mean that we bring in Mike Malone and we instantly just start winning and we got a championship in year one. It's going to take time, just like with Mitch Johnson. With that being said, if you don't care about what I have to say, speaking of Spoelstra, I was not aware of this. I completely missed it. And obviously a lot of people missed it because it only has 29 likes and I'm the 29th. So this is from Jeff G. Spurs Zone. In which he posted this saying Spoelstra says he spent a lot of time with the Spurs assistant coach Mitch Johnson, said he's an effective communicator on the court, impressive, understands why Popovich trusts him, has great ideas in coaching meetings when the two were together in Paris. So it's starting to show, you can see why the Spurs have so much confidence in Mitch. But the big part was actually from this article right here. This was sent over to me. Obviously, I don't have access to it, but my boy, he does, sent it over to me, and this is basically the some of the things that Spoelstra said. So I want to go over this with you guys. So this is what Spoelstra had to say just overall. So it says here, we were all just shocked by it, and thoughts immediately went to Pop. But the other reality is the NBA doesn't stop, and Mitch is prepared for this. I talked to him briefly and just mentioned to him that the organizational stability and having somebody that knows how they operate is important in these times, and it really just becomes wax on, wax off. So this is back in February, by the way, when this was posted. So that's what he's talking about. Moving on. So it says here, in the 3 months since that conversation, Johnson has proved to be more than up to the task. So he says, this is actually Mitch Johnson on Spoelstra. It was totally unnecessary, but I was very grateful he did it. So he called him. What he said was simple, but very, very encouraging. It was helpful insight about what I was walking into. So moving on. So this is Ty Lue that had something to say. He understands the game and has a great basketball mind and was ready for this opportunity, and everyone sees it. He's done a great job with his team, and he's a really good young coach. So moving on. I don't know if you can have a better tutorial in the worst way. This is what Doc Rivers said. The shoes Pop has, no one wants to try to fill those. They're just too big. And then you get thrown into it, not knowing you're going to get thrown into it with no preparation, and then having all this other stuff, going to Paris, the LA Fires, dealing with budding superstar. That's a lot. A very, very, very young team, other than Chris Paul and a couple other guys. That's a hard job. And this is coming from Doc Rivers, somebody who Mitch Johnson sounds just like. Moving on. There will be growing pains. There will be hopefully many milestones and good expectations and everything in between. And I don't think we need to shy away from any of them or avoid them, he said. And I don't think we need to give more power into something than it is. As a group, we've done a really good job of that. So that is what Harrison Barnes had to say. It's funny. We're a little bit past the halfway point, and I feel like this season's been like 3 years with all the different things that have gone on. But one of the biggest things I've been impressed with when it comes to Mitch is just his voice, how even-keeled he is, whether it's on the court stuff or off the court stuff affecting on the court stuff. Whether it's on the court stuff or off the court stuff affecting on the court stuff. Woo! He just had that steel focus. He's a winner. That's basically what he's saying. He's a winner. So moving on. This is something else Barnes says. He's just continuing to drive from the same message, put in the same work every single day, and I think guys respond to that. Competitors echo Barnes' comments. On the sideline, he never gets rattled. That's what Lou said. Then moving on here. Let's see. As where the stoic demeanor comes from, Johnson pointed to different influences in his life, including his parents, the late former Seattle Supersonic star John Johnson, and former University of Washington tennis player Jenny Redmond, Popovich, and several other coaches. Whether it's my parents or others in my background, some of the best sayings typically have that element involved of never as good as they say you are and never as good as they say you are. Huh. Okay. There's so many emotions in a long NBA season, so many circumstances. You won't be able to sustain or survive if you try to ride that emotional roller coaster. So that's what that's what we got from him. All right. So what we got from this is that Spoelstra said back in October that he's a very creative coach. So with him saying that, let me go ahead and say this. I think that he was just holding that seat for Pop, right? He didn't want to stir it up too much. This is going to be an off season where we actually get to see what is it that's his vision for the team. How does he want to get Wemby his shots? How does he want to operate the team, right? How is his rotations going to look? I think that is going to be key, and I think that he has the capability of doing it. I don't think Spoelstra just says this and doesn't actually believe it, right? He's like, this guy is essentially special, right? He has great ideas, and I understand why Pop trusts him. That is huge. And then for you to have all of these different testimonies around the league saying, yeah, he's legit. Yeah, he's even killed. Yeah, nothing's too big for him. This is a big deal. So maybe, just maybe, we need to pump the brakes. Don't be too upset. Don't be too hard on him. Let's not repeat history of 1996 when Popovich, I guess Popovich kind of had it coming, making yourself the coach. I mean, dang. But let's not have the same hate that Popovich got in the 90s, right? Let's give him a shot. And Popovich isn't the only coach in the NBA that has had a dynasty before. He's not the only coach that's won a championship. Mike Malone isn't the only coach that won a championship before, right? So just give him a shot. Let's see how it goes. But this is a lot of praise, a whole lot of praise from his way. So just wanted to share this with you guys. If you felt a little iffy or a little wary, I've become more and more confident that Mitch Johnson is going to be legit. Long time to come. For long times to come. Long time to come? For long years to come. I don't know. That doesn't sound right. My sentence doesn't sound. It's late. Yeah, what time is it? 1 a.m.? It's late, guys. But yeah. Let me know what you think. I'll post this segment later. YouTube, let me know what you think.